Yeah.
It is very impressive indeed. Here we go. Let's find you.
And I think Brightwing is now sitting at a 9-10 win ratio. So that might be close to the 50% now. Simply because Alufal just doesn't lose in the hero.
Yeah, Lufal is raising the hero up quite a bit. Heroes.
Oh, they banned Curse Hollow. Look at that.
Nice.
CE banned Curse Hollow for the exact
they
same
were prepared.
reason. That is so cool.
Dragon instead. 64.3% win rate on Brightwing over 2 seasons.
Nice. Very impressive.
From Alufal. Oh, over lifetime, basically. Hang on, let's go. Tournaments. HGC China phase. We want phase 1, preferably. HGC China phase 1 and 2. There we go. Just do it. Okay, so all of HGC China, he has a 100% win rate on Brightwing over this year's HGC.
You know what? Who would be very proud right now? Smexy from Fnatic.
Gillyweed and Smexy will both be very
proud.
proud.
Gillyweed too, for sure. Calder would probably hate him. I think Calder is not going to cheer for CE at the Eastern Clash if he continues to pick Brightwing.
That is almost certainly true. We will see. For now, though, we are loaded into the draft for Dragonshire, game number 2 between KT and CE.
And as much as I like Alufal's Brightwing, I want him to see on the Kharazim again. A little bit more action. Look at KT. They were hovering over the Brightwing too.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Alufal doesn't have a negative win rate support.
There we go.
Over this year's HGC, he has 92.3% Kharazim. His lowest win rate is Ariel with 55.6, but he has 100% win rates on Brightwing, Malfurion, Morales, Lucio, Nazebo, and Lili.
Oh yeah, that one game where he actually played Nazebo where they turned things around. That was crazy.
Yeah. I don't think this is fully up to date though, because if I remember correctly, they played. Oh no, it was SBT who tried to play the Lucio versus E-Star, wasn't it?
Yeah. SBT
So, yeah,
definitely ran the Lucio.
Up to date.
Yeah.
Neat.
All right.
So, yeah, there you go. Alufal is kind of good at support, as we already knew.
Looks like Arthas has become the most targeted first pick these days in China, which is actually amazing because Arthas, ironically, has fallen off a little bit, I would say, in other regions, right? We're not really used to seeing him as much anymore, and while he's still, a very common sight, China is just, all over Arthas these days.
Yes, they are, which is very different to how they used to be last season. As we see Greymane and a Nubarak coming in for CE, very heavy burst damage, and a good solo laner for them.
Yeah, I like it so far, I really do. The Haka Greymane is something they used a lot in Phase 1 as well when they played on Warhead. It's just such a nice initiation tool as well. The Brightwing, the Dehaka, of course, coming in from the flanks, Greymane following up with the burst damage, and boom, there you have the lockdown and kill potential. Now, what CE normally likes to run with these heroes could be an Illidan, could be another warrior, could be a Kharazim as well, because the more melees, the better for Kharazim's Breath of Heaven value. Now, what does KT need against that? I would actually not hate an Uther right now. Uther Arthas traditionally performs very well. Maybe a little bit of a damage prioritization as well. Maybe pick away the Illidan, because you already have Arthas in your roster.
Picking away the Illidan could work. They don't. They go for Tychus again. So far, almost identical draft to last time. From KT.
I'm not sure if I like the exact same approach in game number 2 as well, because Dragonshire plays extremely differently compared to Sky Temple. So just because your comp seemed to work well in Sky Temple doesn't automatically transfer over to Dragonshire, meaning that they may have adjusted a little bit, in my opinion. Rhaegar is fine, don't get me wrong, but the Tychus, it gets value against the Dragon Knight with a percentage damage, but is it really that top tier of a ranged assassin? I remain a little bit skeptical.
I also do remain skeptical. We will see if this was the correct choice or not. Someone asked if China plays Cho'Gall. Yeah, sometimes. CE especially. They went with a triple Angel Cho'Gall comp. It was glorious. Although it's... Well, actually, no, there's Tychus already on the board. It's quite unlikely. And Ariel's banned. Yeah, it's not happening unless KT pick it, in which case, oh my god. We will see if that's the case. It's a very rotation-heavy map. It could be possible.
It could be possible. We could also see a Nazebo. CE actually one of the few teams in China who like to run him on a more regular basis. They have Zuyu who could play him. Very, very solid Nazebo player in general. I think that, judging from what KT has drafted so far, it's not screaming like early game pressure. Like they didn't pick the likes of Zul, Gul'dan, like all those heavy pushers. So I could still see a Nazebo, maybe even as a last pick, come in.
Indeed, we will see. CE's Nazebo would be cool to see if they did want to run it. Again. It's been a while since we've seen it actually. Yep. Just sort of dropped out of meta quite a bit. Except Varian coming in. This is potentially an insanely bursty comp if they wanted to go for Curse. Malthael sneaking in for KT, and they bring out the Lunara as well. Lots of poison damage in the last 2 picks for them. Yeah, KT 1 poison and 1 death over time.
Yeah. KT definitely knew what they were trying to go for, because they immediately locked down the double poison. Or the double damage over time, I should say. And
yep.
There are many
one's damage
reasons...
over time, one's death over time. That's what we like to call it with Malthael.
Exactly. And there's 2 big reasons for those 2 heroes, Lunara and Malthael, to be that good in that situation. And that is Varian and Uther. While Varian doesn't take damage while his shield wall is up, the poison is still going to continue ticking. Yes. Whereas Uther struggles against much AoE damage at the same time. So Uther's going to start sweating a lot under his plate armor. And Nazebo, he makes it in. I just love CE. I love their draft. I love the heroes. Varian and Nazebo. This is the Kendrick main comp.
I guess it is.
It's literally my 2 mains.
Yeah, Nazebo and Varian. Nice to see them making their way in. So, CE bringing back the Nazebo. This is a very solid map for him. They have a good... Both teams have very solid drafts, and we are going into the late game with this.
Yeah. I can't help but feel a little bit worried for CE still, though. I mean, true, the Nazebo is a beast in the late game. True, the Varian has a lot of kill potential. However, if they only overstep once, the Malthael and Lunara is going to punish everything they've got. The Uther might not be able to heal all the damage, the Varian might still fall despite shield wall up, so as much as I like CE's draft, I can't help but feel that KT drafted very well against it.
Yeah. They are missing AoE healing. I agree with you on that. They need to go full W on Uther to have any chance of being able to keep up with that. We will see if that is the case, or whether Nazebo will be able to get that insane late game damage as we head into game number 2 between KT and CE. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dragonshire. And spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be KT with T-Die on Rhaegar, Neptune on Malthael, Fury on Tychus, Seeing on Lunara, and Butcher is on the Arthas.
And once again on the right-hand side, their opponents in the red dresses. We see CE played with Alufal, excuse me, on Uther. We have Wind on the Varian, KTY on Greymane, Paradise on Dehaka, and Zuyu going for the Voodoo. Let's go.
Aye, as they head into this game number 2 with CE currently in a 1-0 lead. Starting off with parry, spiders, cocktails, W. Yeah, this is everything that we expected.
Yeah, this is a very, very standard way to build those heroes. The spiders, of course. Despite Kendrick being a huge fan of the Toads. Sometimes I like to call myself the Lord of the Toads. But, you know, there's some things that need to be considered. And in order for the Toads to truly shine, you need to have a lot of melee targets in the enemy team, which KT doesn't really have. You also need to make sure that you can actually stack them up very quickly, which is not always a given. So spiders is just the safe call, the good call, and I would recommend everyone to go for the same build, basically.
Spiders are always the safe one, including the level 4. Big Voodoo is, of course, technically the better talent overall, because it is infinite, and anything that is infinite is always going to be more value, technically.
Yeah.
But the odds of you stacking it to a point where it is good enough that you can not gain the team fight sustain from the spiders, and it won't matter as much. It's usually safer to take the spiders unless you're in a 2-lane rotation on something like Tomb of the Spider Queen.
It also ramps up really much in terms of value. Once you get the Spider Colony, it's level 16, allowing you to regenerate mana and health much more frequently. In the meantime, we see a duel here between Paradise and Neptune. However, KTY decides to step in, making it a 2-for-1. How dare you? Have you no honor, sir? But I think Raymond is going to care.
There is no honor in death. There is honor in sending my friends to avenge my death as they shred through the Greymane, making it a 1-for-1 trade at the start of the game.
And during all of this, KT actually managed to hold the shrine too. So despite Malthael's great sacrifice, they still maintain control over the shrine. They got a kill in return as well. And KT going for extremely powerful rotations here. The poison continues to take mercilessly, and Anufal already in a little bit of trouble here. He had to use the healing fountain. He had to go back early on as well because Uther is going to struggle heavily in terms of mana, simply because there's so much taking damage on the side of KT.
Yeah, but he's alive, and that's all that matters. Fury is not so lucky as a Razor Swipe and an auto attack finish him off nicely. Healing Totem coming in for the Rhaegar, giving his team a little bit more sustain as Neptune takes the long way round, seeing Alufal rotating thanks to his minions.
Yep. And let's actually pay close attention to Nazeebo and how much he can roam around the map, because getting as many Voodoo Ritual stacks as possible early on is really important. Now, as we speak of Nazeebo, he's going to get tickled, tries to get the poison off at least one more minion, so his death at least gives him the tiniest amounts of value. I don't even know if he got that minion, but Wind in the meantime trying to go for the Dragon Knight. First Dragon Knight unleashed for CE. That's going to be pretty good.
The Dragon Knight charge denied by the Psychos Grenade there, so yes, CE moving in, Wind trying to go for towers. It's not at the stage where you're going to get the huge value from getting a fort. You're not going to be able to get a fort yet, so as much value as they can. As we see Neptune, big chase down, able to juke his way to freedom though, even though he takes a cocktail to the face. Dragon Knight has already achieved 1 tower and will potentially get a second.
Yeah, I'd also like how the Dragon Knight positioned itself, making sure that only 1 tower at a time would shoot at it. Very important to keep in mind, guys, when you pilot those big vehicles like a... By the way, that's something I wanted to discuss many times in the past. Did they increase the damage of the Dragon Knight punt? Because lately it seems to me that it hits like a warship, as Tetris says.
I don't think they did, but it still looks cool. It still does damage, it's just usually you don't die from being punted. It's hilarious when you do, because you just ragdoll mid-air and it's awesome. But now though, the Dragon Knight was able to achieve 4 towers, I believe, total, or at least 3 and a bit. So overall, very nice value. And oh my god, the symmetry on the side of CE. 3 heroes with 3 talents with the identical symbol. That is lovely.
Very nice. And the spiders continue to take down this healing fountain. Very nice little gimmick there. You can actually use, like sometimes when you play Nazeebo, you can throw your spiders a little bit sneakily. Like you can drop it on a low building and enemy nearby heroes will not suspect the spiders to immediately jump over them after the structure has fallen. So sometimes you can get some sneaky damage in there as well without the enemies really suspecting it and not being able to dodge the spooters. So let's see. Neptune in the top lane. Ooh, there's a double gank being set up here by both teams. Alufal in the mix, use the healing, and Greymane in trouble.
Get turned on, Fury! The poison does not land on him. Sorry, no, it wasn't even aimed for him as Neptune is spreading the damage, looking for KTY as a kill. That damage from Malthael just completely turned that fight in its head. That looked rough for KT for a while. That
looked really rough for them, but the Malthael damage, as you said, combined with the touch of Death Talon, reducing the healing output from Uther and the self-healing from Dahaka, really turned things around. And speaking of Alufal and Uther, he is in trouble, getting slowed, no way for him to retreat, and Arthas continues to slow everyone in his vicinity.
Arthas value slowing Paradise. There's the root, but that Uther healing will now make him too tough to kill. It is hand of protection, by the way, not the guy in the Ancient Kings, but that armor is still lovely. As level 10 is hit, it's going to be Taunt, Cursed Bullet, Gargantuan, of course, unfortunately, because we have seen Ravenous Spirit in HGC China before, but it's still a very rare sight. Uther and Dahaka saving their time, saving their picks, though.
So here's how CE could have gotten a kill potentially. If Nazeebo had dropped the Gargantuan earlier, it would have soaked up the aggro from the fort, resulting in Wind not getting slowed and dismounted, and then they could have maybe initiated on Lunara, but as you could see, guys, KT already reinforced the bottom lane, so it is very questionable if they could have actually killed Lunara with her buddies helping her out. Now, in the meantime, Divine Storm for Alufal. And considering the fact that there's a Malthael in the mix, I love this choice.
As do I. Malthael jumps in, you hit R. Malthael no longer in the mix.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was clutch by Arthas. As Win picks up the second DK of the game, Zuyu finds Butcher and decides to melee him. This is a good plan. He is actually going to get the kill, thanks to a full toad to the face. No, Butcher shall escape here, but Zuyu did win the fight.
Definitely. He showed him who's boss, and another punt goes down on Tychus. He says, I mean, punting the Tychus is probably the smartest choice because he can use his minigun to shred the Dragon Knight pretty hard. The Dragon Knight's health gets shredded immediately, by the way. Not this much value done this time around. Not even getting the middle fort, but it's almost as good as dead. Now, Malthael joining the fray here as well. His percentage damage scales very nicely on the Dragon Knight too. In the meantime, Dehaka getting that value. And Nazeebo, in my personal opinion, he's team fighting a little bit too much. I'm not really sure how many stacks he's sitting at, but he could have spent more time doing so. Ancestral does land onto the Arthas as Alufal is doing huge amounts of healing, but he's getting focused. It's the issue, but still he dies, so he's going to be able to drop the healing onto Zuyu, keep him alive. Zuyu getting focused down. The healing from Uther Ghost not enough. KT making it a 2 for 2. KTY, you don't want to be there. Dies to the poison anyway, as Wind will survive, but that still makes it a 3 for 2 in favor of KT. Really solid defense here. They chose a fight before CE was able to get 13, and that's something they should have done on Sky Temple as well, I feel. Going in for that calculated aggression could have netted them so much more value in Sky Temple 2. Here, they basically don't show the respect, they don't show any fear, and they take those kills 3 to 2, coming a lot closer in terms of global XP as well. And those fights are starting to look much better for KT now.
Yes, they are. KT very much always a solid team, fighty team. Let's see if they can keep it up and continue to see if they can try and catch up in XP and maybe get themselves a lead. Seeing chased away, zoned out, Rip Wisp, as we do see CE continuing to control this middle jungle area as best they can.
Now, with level 13 arrived, Varian is going to hit a very important power spike here already because he has that Mortal Strike, reducing healing done by 40%. And that could be very good against Arthas' self-healing and against Malthael's self-healing. So let's see how much value the High King of the Alliance can bring to the table. In the meantime, it is Malthael getting focused down. Wind on at the same time, though very, very low. And I think neither of the teams wants to commit to an all-out fight.
Yeah, and we're seeing the issue with Uther in this kind of composition. He's struggling to do all that AoE healing, and as such, Wind is the one suffering for it, as he's the one who's taking most of the damage, so he's being left at low hit points a lot more often than not. So it's a little bit of a problem for him. Dehaka having a problem, decides because he may die here to try and turn onto Neptune, at least zone out, give himself some zoning room. Burrow to delay, try to buy himself some time. Freedom! Armor from Uther might be enough. Essence? No, but the tower's pulling Butcher into them. Butcher takes a lot of damage. Can they get something out of this? Alufal moves into the middle, looking for a Divine Storm, but can't get the angle right, so just backs up, making sure that he does not get caught out of position and die.
Okay, I love the fact that CE did not commit to an all-in fight here despite, or after losing the Dehaka here. It's still, they want to go for something. CE actually going ham. Lunara needs to take the Ancestral Healing, and the Divine Storm not enough to kill Butcher. KT on the Warpath, they might get some heavy damage done here, Tetcher.
Oh, needs to heal something, so he heals himself. Nope, down he goes. Needs to spam that healing out, get his team back to healthiness as Wind is dropping low. Shield Wall, though, allowing him to turn it around. Paradise Speed Boost for doing his best Lucio impression as they chase down Sea-Ink. Now they turn on to Neptune. Wow. It is just the Tychus there who's able to kill off the Zebo in the backline, but gets killed off. 5 for 2 in favor of CE.
Yeah,
that was wonky, but it worked.
Yeah, it was extremely wonky. Constant back and forth. I actually thought that KT had this fight in the bags, but looks like CE stabilized just in the nick of time. Dehaka immediately going for the bottom rotation, and that is going to be another Dragon Knight in favor of CE. They stabilized. They've got 16 right now as well, which is a huge asset and a huge advantage as well when it comes to sieging up here. The middle fort almost destroyed. They take it as we speak. 1, 2, bam, 3 hits.
Bam.
Here we go.
Nice. Lovely, lovely, lovely. As Wind takes it down. Third time he's feeling the Dragon Knight.
With the kick damage.
See ya, Ink. The kick damage is good. It is very, very nice indeed. As we see an isolation on Rhaegar. Down he goes. That's why you don't solo clear as Rhaegar.
No, that's why you never solo lane as any main support. I mean, there was no reason for Rhaegar to be there, right? I mean, he's not the greatest of wave clearers. For a support, he's actually pretty decent at it. But when your team needs to defend the Dragon Knight, you need to be at your team's side as the main support. And otherwise, you just risk getting caught. Rhaegar doesn't have the greatest of escapes. And
I would argue Brightwing has an excuse solo laning, by the way, as does Lily.
Yeah.
Those are the two supports who I would say are viable.
True.
Lily
is
because
hard
she wins
to kill.
solo lanes, because Lily wins every lane. And Brightwing because global.
Yeah.
Oh, eat zombies. Yeah, I'm curious, like you said earlier, about how stacked Zuyu is, whether we're going to be seeing the humongoid or whether
Oh, the
we're going to be
spiders.
seeing the Vine Infection. Oh my god, that damage.
Spider's
Okay, so-
already doing a lot of work here and inflicting a lot of pain on a single target, because if you hit a single target, then of course you get 5 instead of 3 thanks to his level 7 talent. Now, let's see. Butcher taking so much damage from the Curse Bullet as well. The Zombie Wall seals the deal, and this might be a very clean fight for CE.
Beautifully done by a Luful double stun, preventing all this stain from the Soul Rip from Neptune there. Easy kill onto Malthael, making him look like a tier Z hero. Not even giving him a chance. As we see CE continuing to wade forward, looking for their first keep of the game. They have a minion wave here, but it's still a little rough. They're not at 20. Just any XP they can get right now. This tower would also be delicious.
Yeah, this tower and the keep, of course, would be beyond delicious. Wind positioning himself aggressively so he can catch anyone that comes too close to the Varian with a taunt charge combo. Now, we see Banner of Ironforge, by the way, at level 16. Every now and then, I still like to go for Banner of Dalaran, because not only does it amplify your mage's damage, but also the healing of your support, which with Uther can actually be pretty crazy.
That is quite lovely. Works really well with heroes like Lunara as well. That poison damage, though, it destroys. It's beautiful. Oh, Wind, careful now. Shield wall. 1, 2.
Oh, protective zombie wall. Isn't that nice?
Protected zombie wall. I know, going in, taking huge damage from the last shield wall as they focus down Malthael once again. Health numbers are low. Butcher gets Ancestral, though, giving his team some time to escape the isolation on Lunara, preventing her from jumping in and helping out at all. Zombie wall again. And Butcher is in trouble. Down he goes. And CE, another dominant fight. 14 seconds for the next Dragon Knight as they move for another keep.
So the question is, do they want to go for the keep, playing super safe, or do they want to go straight for the core? It looks like they're taking the safe route. Can't really blame them for that. Nazeebo has hit level 20. He took the Val Infection. Is he fully stacked yet? We need to take a look at his poison damage and his auto attacks. If his auto attacks keep poisoning people, then you can tell. Oh, the cleanse. Nice.
Very nicely done. So we need to watch Zuyu throw a spider at Lunara. If Lunara goes from 100% to 10% in one set of spiders, then we know that he's fully stacked.
Exactly. She didn't take the greatest spell shield anyway, so we can definitely tell that this is probably going to happen.
We will see in a second. As we do see ink clearing up.
So, I know you are not a Horde fanboy per se, you're more of a Forsaken type of guy, but can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor and tell me what the level 20 talent for Varian is? What's it called?
142, by the way. And Varian, where Varian? There he is. That is the Banner of the Alliance, I believe.
It's Glory to the Alliance.
Glory to the Alliance. There we go. That's fair. That's fair. Well played. You got me.
Oh, the poison!
Yep, gotten as well. No revive, no level 20. And Zuyu isn't fully stacked, but he's doing damage. And Seeing survives the punt. He is alive for now. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. Malthael for Greymane as we see CE trying to move on to the core. A risky move. Good cleanse. Once again, CX still barely surviving. They're trying to get Arthas, the Ancestral, getting less value thanks to the Mortal Strike as they try to focus him down. The Totem is destroyed too. The Dragon Knight getting destroyed here. All value is lost. They're not able to end the game here unless they can pick up a kill.
KT, they hold here because of the cleanse that saved Lunara from dying to the Dragon Kick, but a huge two-man Divine Storm, the Isolation of Arthas, preventing any form of protection, and that, ladies and gentlemen, could have been the nail in the coffin. KT defended so well, but in the end they got caught by a couple of crowd control effects from CE once again, and this might be their last stand. This is where they need to hold.
And we're seeing the focus onto Malthael in the zombie wall. Down he goes. Shield slowly ticking down. It's a 4 versus 2. Lunara's damage is good. but it's not going to be good enough to protect the core as Zuyu just spams it with spiders. And CE are going to be able to take game number 2 and guarantee themselves those lovely 3 points, as this is GG. Very well played, CE with the 2-0.
And a train of spiders tried to chase that Lunara in the conga line, but unfortunately Lunara was too fast, too furious. That doesn't change anything though from the fact that CE takes the series clean, in a clean 2-0. And no matter what people might say about KT, they have earned a lot of respect for putting up such a good show, especially in game number 1 on Sky Temple. But even in game number 2, they had a couple of really good team fights. They were almost at the brink of taking a fort and an objective. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be today, and CE, they show us why they are the current reigning Chinese champions.
As they do, and now I have a spider-based conga song stuck in my head because you have done this to me. Do do do. Being chased by spiders. It's pretty horrifying, quite frankly.
There we go.
But yeah, CE taking that 2-0. KT earning some good respect there, but unfortunately, Soa weren't able to get the 1-1 either. But Hot's Lady were able to get a 1-1, so they creep up a little bit in points, so they're catching up to RPG, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Hot's Lady definitely getting a lot closer to RPG now.